Hi everyone, this is Selina. Welcome back to one of my videos. I hope you're well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Selina and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm bringing to you this lavender pocket shawl with a hood. I absolutely love it. It's really easy to crochet and it features these puff stitches pockets, and I really love the look of this. And obviously it features also a hood, which looks really nice. As always, the free pattern is available on my blog, selinaveronique.com. You can find the link in the down bar. And you will have not only the free pattern to follow along, but also lots of photos and extra details about this project. So you'll be able to see the full beauty of this pocket shawl with a hood. So for this project, I used 5 skeins of Paintbox Simply Aran yarn. And this is a medium 4 yarn, which is an Aran weight yarn. It's really soft, and this is shade 241. I will be linking it in the down bar with the exact name and code for the exact colour that I used. And it's 100 grams and it's 100% acrylic, and it's really easy to work with. So I used 5 of those. I also used a 6mm crochet hook. I used a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle, as well as a measuring tape, and also I used 2 stitch markers. So what I did use were pieces of scrap yarn for my stitch markers, but you can actually use proper stitch markers for this project. And that's it. And so it's a really easy, fun project to make. I will be speaking in US terms with British terms in brackets. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, because it really helps grow my channel. And thank you to my patrons on Patreon for all their support. And if you want more feminine crochet content, don't forget to head over to my Patreon to check that out. All the links are in the down bar. So to begin this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make the main part of your pocket shawl. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into the tutorial to show you how to make that. To begin your project, you will be making a slip knot. So just go ahead and create your slip knot. Pop your hook through and tighten, and now you are going to be chaining 44. So just go ahead and chain 44. 1, 2, 3. So I've chained less, but you should have 44 chains, and the principle is the exact same. It's just that I'm making a smaller sample for the purpose of demonstrating this stitch. So now that you've chained 44, you are going to be counting 1, 2, 3 chains from the hook, and in that 3rd chain you will be placing a half double crochet. So to place your half double crochet, just wrap your yarn around your hook and go into that chain, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Take your yarn and pull through all 3 loops, and this creates your first half double crochet. And the first chain 2 counts as a half double crochet at the beginning of this row. So now what you are going to be doing is placing another half double crochet into the next chain. So just go ahead and place another half double crochet into the next chain, like so, and then just go into the next chain with another half double crochet and into the next, and just carry on placing half double crochets into each and every stitch across until you reach the end of this chain, and then I'll show you what to do for row 2. Okay, so this is row 1 completed, and now for row 2 it's going to be very easy. So for row 2 you will be chaining 2, 1 and 2, turn your work, and this stitch counts as your first half double crochet, and it goes with this first stitch here. So now you are just going to be going directly into the second stitch and placing a half double crochet into that. So just wrap your yarn around your hook and go into the second stitch with a half double crochet. And this is what it looks like. Now go into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and I'll let you place a half double crochet into each stitch across until you reach the end of this row, and I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so I've almost finished row 2, and to finish off row 2, so I've got 2 stitches left to place. Just wrap your yarn around your hook and go into the next stitch with a half double crochet. And now you still have 1 stitch to place, and this is into the chain 2 from the previous row. And I am mentioning this because it can be easy to forget to place your half double crochet into that last stitch. However, you really need to remember to place it. So just go ahead and place your half double crochet into this last stitch like so. And this is what it looks like. And this project will straighten out as we go along. So this is row 2, and now for row 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, turn your work, and going forward this will just be a repeat of what I've just showed you, so a repeat of row 2. So yeah, so for row 3 and every row after row 3 you will be just simply repeating the same row over and over, which is row 2. And obviously row 3. So I've chained 2, and this counts as my first half double crochet, and it goes with this first stitch here. And now you are going to be going into the second stitch directly with another half double crochet, and then again place a half double crochet into the next stitch, and into the next stitch, and into the next stitch, and just carry this on, and then I'll show you how to finish off this row, and then I'll let you carry on your own. Okay, so I've almost finished this row, and to finish off this row, again, don't forget this chain 2 from the previous row, so place your half double crochet into that, and this is what you have. So just carry on repeating this same row, which is row 2 and obviously row 3 that I've just repeated. Repeat this row for the next 137 rows in total. So just go ahead and do that, and that should bring you to a total length of 63 inches for this project. So just go ahead and repeat row 2 for 137 rows, and then I'll show you how to make your pockets. Okay, so you should have completed your 137 rows in total, and now I'm going to show you how to make your pockets. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make the pockets. So it's a really easy design. Obviously you will be making 2 of these. And this is a pattern using an alternation of the puff stitch and half double crochet rows. So I'm just gonna jump right into the tutorial. Okay, so to begin your pockets, you will be making a slip knot, so just go ahead and create your slip knot. And now chain 24. So just pop your hook through and you will be chaining 24. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've chained 12, but it's the exact same thing as if I chained 24. It's just a smaller sample to show you the stitches, but the principle is the exact same. So you should have 24 chains. And now what we are going to be doing is creating our first row, which will be a row of half double crochets. So just wrap your yarn around your hook and go into the third chain from the hook and place a half double crochet into that. And obviously the first chain 2 counts as your first half double crochet. Now go into the next stitch with a half double crochet and into the next chain with a half double crochet, and just place a half double crochet into each chain across until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you how to do row 2. Okay, so this is row 1 that we've just completed, and now for the second row it is going to be a row of puff stitches. So to create your puff stitches, chain 1, turn your work, and this just counts as a kind of turning chain, I think, but it does go with the first stitch here. So what you are going to be doing is chaining 1 and then skipping the very first stitch here and working into the second stitch. So what you are going to be doing is wrapping your yarn around your hook, go into that stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Take your yarn and go back into this stitch and pull your yarn up a second time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on your hook. Wrap your yarn around your hook and go back into the stitch, pull up a loop for the third time, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your hook. Go back in a 4th time and you should have 9 loops on your hook, and go back in a 5th time. And now what you are going to be doing is once you've gone in 5 times, you will be taking your yarn and pulling through all of those loops like so. And now once you've done that, gently chain 1, and that completes this puff stitch. Go into the next stitch here with a single crochet. So to create your single crochet, just go directly into the stitch, pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook. Take your yarn and pull through both loops, sorry. Okay, so we've done our first puff stitch and place a single crochet into the next stitch. So now I'm going to show you how to create your second puff stitch of this row in the next stitch. So just yarn over, go into this stitch and pull up a loop once, yarn over and go back into the stitch and pull up a loop twice. Repeat this for the 3rd time, and then the 4th time, and then the 5th time. And now you have all these loops on your hook. Take your yarn and gently pull through all of these loops like so. Chain 1, and place a single crochet into the next stitch. And as you can see, this is the back of the puff stitches. These will be visible once we turn our project over, because when we are creating these, we are pushing them outwards. So this is why that creates that effect. And now that we've placed our single crochet here, we are going to be going into the next stitch and placing another puff stitch. So yarn over, go pull up a loop once, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop twice, yarn over, go into the stitch and pull up a loop 3 times, yarn over and pull up a loop 4 times, yarn over and pull up a loop 5 times. And now take your yarn and pull through all of the loops, chain 1 and go into the next stitch with a single crochet. And this is what you should have. Now that we've placed our single crochet into this stitch, we are going to be placing another puff stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and take your yarn and pull through all the loops like this. Chain 1, place a single crochet into the next stitch. This is what you have. And so now we have 2 stitches left. So this is this stitch here, and then we've got the chain 2 from the previous row as always. So we are going to be placing our last puff stitch into this. So just go ahead and create your last puff stitch. 3, 4, and 5. Take your yarn and pull through all these loops, chain 1, and now place your last single crochet into the chain 2 from the previous row to finish off this row. And this is what it looks like at the back, and the front looks like this. So it actually looks like puff stitches. So now for the next row, what we are going to be doing is chaining 1 and 2. Turn your work, and this counts as your first half double crochet. I'm just going to zoom in a teeny bit. So what we are going to be doing is crocheting a row of half double crochets now that we've finished the puff stitches row. So this stitch goes with the last stitch here that we've just done. So that means the single crochet that we've just placed. This 2 chain here counts as a half double crochet, and it goes with that very first stitch. So now we are going to be placing a half double crochet on top of the puff stitch, like so. There we go. So now we are going to be placing a half double crochet into the single crochet from the previous row, like so. And now place a half double crochet into the puff stitch from the previous row, and now just go into the single crochet from the previous row, and then go into the top of the puff stitch here and go into the single crochet and on top of the puff stitch, and this will create a row of half double crochets that has the same number of stitches that than on the previous rows, and that's what we want. There we go. So I've gone into the last puff stitch here, and now my last stitch is going to be the first chain one from the previous row, and this is what I have for now. So now what I'm going to do for the next row is chain 2, 1 and 2, turn your work, and we are going to be placing another row of half double crochets on top of this this half double crochet row. So this chain 2 counts as your first half double crochet with this first stitch. So go directly into the second stitch with a half double crochet, go into the next stitch with a half double crochet, go into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and go into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and just place a row of half double crochets on top of the half double crochets from the previous row. So this is really easy to do, and don't forget the last chain 2 from the previous row. And there we go. And this creates our second, row of half double crochets. And now what we are going to be doing for the next row is chaining 2, 1 and 2, and this counts as our first half double crochet, which goes with this stitch here. And we are going to be placing a half double crochet again into each stitch across. So that means we've got 3 rows of half double crochets that separate our puff stitches. So there we go. Just finish off your third row of half double crochets like this. Now chain 1, turn your work, and what we are going to be doing is placing puff stitches all across this next row. So this is just going to be a repeat of row 2. So chain 1, and this goes with the first stitch here, and now just go into the second stitch with your first puff stitch. So wrap your yarn around your hook, go into the stitch and pull up a loop once, wrap around, go into a loop twice, yarn over and pull up a loop 3 times, yarn over and pull up a loop 4 times, and yarn over and pull up a loop 5 times. And now just finish off your stitch by pulling through all of the loops on your hook, chain 1 and place a single crochet into the next stitch. Now go into the next stitch with your next puff stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop once, yarn over and pull up a loop twice, yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, yarn over, pull up a loop 4 times, yarn over and pull up a loop 5 times, and take your yarn and pull through all of these loops, chain 1 and place a single crochet into the next stitch, and now place a puff stitch into the next stitch. But what I am going to be doing is let you finish off this row by yourself. If you need more help, just rewind the video or just watch how I did row 2, and I'll meet you back to show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so I've placed my last puff stitch here, and to finish off this row I'm simply going to be placing my last single crochet into the chain 2 from the previous row like this to finish off this row. And this is my puff stitch row finished. I'm just going to turn this around just so that you see what this looks like for now. Obviously yours will be larger than mine, but this is what it looks like. I'm just going to show you the next row and then I'll let you carry on your own. Obviously I'll give you more explanations, but just so you know. So for the next row you are going to be chaining 2, 1 and 2. Turn your work, and this counts as your first half double crochet that goes with this first stitch here. Now wrap your yarn around your hook and go into the next stitch here and place a half double crochet into that. Take your yarn and place a half double crochet into the single crochet from the previous row. And this is just a repeat of row 3. Now go into the puff stitch, the top of the puff stitch with a half double crochet. And now go on top of the single crochet with a half double crochet. Go into the top of the puff stitch with a half double crochet. And into the single crochet. And the top of the puff stitch. And the single crochet, and the top of the puff stitch, and finish with a half double crochet into the chain 1 from the previous row. And now just carry on this pattern. So now you should place another 2 rows of half double crochets on top of these. I'm just going to zoom out and show you the actual pocket, and just go onto my website selinaveronique.com. The link is in the down bar to have a look at the free pattern and to see how many rows you need in total. So I'm just going to briefly explain here, but it will be easier if you follow along the written pattern too for this part. So as you can see, we are here. We've just finished that first row of half double crochets on top of this row of puff stitches. You need an extra 2 rows of half double crochets, then 1 row of puff stitches, then 3 rows of half double crochets, and then 1 row of puff stitches, and then 3 rows of half double crochets. So check out the pattern, complete this pocket. Once you've finished this pocket, just fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing. I've left quite a long tail, and create your 2 pockets. So create 2 of these, and then I'll meet you back to show you how to carry on with your project. Okay, so before I show you how to sew the pockets onto the project, I am going to show you how to crochet the hood, because it will be easier to crochet the hood directly onto the project before we add anything else to the project. So to crochet your hood, what you are going to be doing is placing your project like so, flat on a flat surface. So just spread it out lengthwise, and now just fold it up so that it is exactly folded in half. So make sure that you fold it properly in half like so, and that it is nice and symmetrically folded like so. So I'm going to try and show you on camera what I'm going to be doing. So this is the center fold, so that's the center fold, and we have both sides of the project, and this is going to be the top side, the where we are going to be crocheting the hood. Okay, so now that you've folded your project in half, you are going to be measuring from the center fold here, and you are going to be measuring 9 inches. So, and what you are going to be doing is, once you've located the stitch at the 9-inch mark, you are going to be placing one stitch marker. In my case, it's a piece of yarn on one side, and then you are going to be also placing a piece of yarn on the other side. So just go ahead and place another stitch marker on the other side, like so. So what's going to happen now is that we are going to be crocheting our hood in between both these stitch markers. So that's the place that is going to be where we are going to be crocheting our hood. Okay, so this is the first stitch marker on the right, and what you are going to be doing is attaching your yarn. So I'm just going to attach my yarn like so, simply, and pop a knot. I mean, you can take your stitch marker out now, I suppose. So just go ahead and take the stitch marker out. Okay, so I've taken the first stitch marker out. I'm just going to be creating my first row. So obviously we are going to be going this way, just to go in the direction of the second stitch marker. And so what we are going to be doing is pulling up a loop, and you are going to be chaining 2, 1 and 2, and this counts as our first half double crochet. Now we are going to be placing another half double crochet along this edge, and this is what I call the wrong side of the stitches. So that means there's not a specific stitch into which you are able to place a stitch. I hope this is making sense. So this means you need to assess yourself where you are going to be placing your stitches, and that means you need to place them evenly all across this edge. So just go ahead and place half double crochets all along this edge evenly. So that's all you are required to do at this point, is just place half double crochets evenly all across this edge. And then I'll show you what to do once you've reached the second stitch marker. So just go ahead and place your half double crochets all across this edge. And also one last thing, make sure you place enough. You don't want to tighten your project. So if you don't place enough stitches, that means you are going to be tightening your project ever so slightly. And so you don't want that. You want to have enough half double crochets across this this edge to not create any tension or anything on this project. So I hope this is making sense. Just carry this on until you reach the second stitch marker. There's no specific number of half double crochets that you need to place. Just make sure that you place them evenly, and then I'll show you row 2. So I've almost reached the second stitch marker, where I am going to be popping my last stitch. And so then later I'm going to take that stitch marker out, obviously, and that's it. We've done our first row of the hood, so from here to here, and what we are going to be doing now is repeating row after row of half double crochets. So now for the second row I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and this counts as my first half double crochet. We are going to be turning our work as always, so let me just zoom in a little. So this counts as our first half double crochet. that goes with this first stitch here, and what we are going to be doing is going directly into the second stitch with another half double crochet like so, and then go into the next stitch with a half double crochet and into the next stitch with a half double crochet and the next stitch, and just go ahead and place a half double crochet into each stitch across until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you what to do then. So just carry on the full length of the hood, and then I'll show you what to do for the next rows. Okay, so I finished the second row, and now what we are simply going to be doing is chaining 2 again, turning our work and just repeating these rows over and over. So just go ahead and repeat this row once again. It's really easy, so nothing complicated. So just repeat row after row of half double crochets. So I'm back, and what I wanted to say is that you need to repeat the half double crochet rows until you have 28 rows in total. So in total I have 28 rows. I wanted to crochet the whole hood before I told you how many rows you would need, but I actually crocheted 28 rows. And so once you've finished your 28 rows, what you are going to be doing is fastening off your yarn, leaving a long tail to sew in your hood. And now you are going to take your tapestry needle, and what you are going to be doing is placing your hood like so, and taking your tapestry needle and yarn and just start sewing this in. So I'm going to use the mattress stitch. I hope you can see. I'm just going to zoom in a teeny bit, and as you can see, I'm just going, so the mattress stitch is just going in one side and then back in the other side like this. And just sew your hood in, and I'll meet you back once I reach the top of the seam. So obviously we're gonna go up like this, and at this point I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so I've gone down the whole seam, and what I'm going to do now is create a small and discreet knot, as you can see, like this. And I'm going to tie in the loose end. And that's it for the hood. So yeah, I'm really pleased. So just go ahead and fasten in your loose end any which way you prefer. And now I'll show you how to do the rest of the project. Okay, so now that I finished the hood, what I am going to do is I'm going to be placing a single crochet edging all around this project, and I'm going to pop my yarn next to the hood. So I'm going to attach my yarn on the corner here. And I'm going to put my hook through, chain 1, and now I'm going to be placing a single crochet all the way around this project. And again, in this part there is no specific stitch you are going to be crocheting in, so you need to make sure that you space your single crochets all the way along evenly. And yeah, Just place them evenly, and I'll show you what to do once we reach the first corner. So the first corner will be here on the first side, and I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so I've reached the first corner, so I've crocheted my single crochets all the way along, and now I'm just going to zoom in like this, and in the corner, so I've already placed one single crochet. You are simply going to be placing a second single crochet into that corner, and now you are simply going to be carrying on this single crochet row down the other side. So what you are going to be doing, so I'm going to de-zoom just for a second. Okay, so what you are going to be doing is placing a single crochet all the way around here, and at the corner you will be placing 2 single crochets once again, and then going all the way across the bottom here. Just go all the way across, and then when you reach the corner, place 2 single crochets, then go up this side, in the corner 2 single crochets, and then go this way here, up this way, and then once you reach the hood, you are going to be going all the way around the hood edging, also with a single crochet, until you reach the other side, and then once you reach the other side, I'll get back to you to show you what to do then. Okay, so I'm back, and I've almost finished this edging, and now I'm just going to slip stitch through the first chain one that we did, like I've just showed you, and then what you are going to be doing is fastening off your yarn and pulling through. Now you've pulled through this this yarn, and that's it for the border. So I'm really pleased with how it looks. I hope you can see on camera. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm going to show you how to sew on your pockets. So to sew on your pockets, you need to obviously sew each pocket on each side of the wrap, if that makes sense. So this is one of the sides, and I've popped my first pocket on it, and I've counted 5 rows from the bottom, excluding the border. So just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place your pocket just above that that space. And then I measured 3.5 inches, so 3.5 inches on either side of the pocket. So that's where I've placed it. And now I've got my long tail for sewing, and I'm going to pop my needle through, and then I'm going to start sewing the pocket onto the project. So this is really easy. You need to just go in and out. I'm just going to zoom in a bit. There we go. So there we go. If you need more help with this part of the project, just head over to my blog. The link is in the description box for lots of photos and the written instructions, so that might help if you need extra help with this part. But you are just going to sew this pocket on, and obviously you will be sewing it on into the project. You will be going all the way down here, and then across here, and then up again, and we will be fastening off here at the top to leave the pocket obviously accessible. And so yeah, so I'm just going very simply going in and out of this pocket. So yeah, just do that, and then I'll meet you back to show you the rest of the project. Okay, so I'm back, and I've sewed my pocket in, and I finished my last stitch here, and I'm just going to create a knot. So just create a knot as the best you can and the way you prefer. I'm just going to tie a knot gently here so as to not pull on stitching. And now just fasten, just tidy up your loose end and fasten off. And just repeat this process on the other side with your second pocket, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so I've sewed in both my my pockets, and I really like how they look. And I love how this project looks, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye.